Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Quick little video about you. This one's disturbing to me. This one is disturbing. This is about this guy, Domingo Rodriguez. I'm going to show you a news clip from the news in a minute so you can see the story on the news yourself if you haven't heard about this. This guy, Domingo Rodriguez, I don't even like the look of this guy, went to the animal shelter, got a 4-year-old bulldog mix, decapitated the dog, cut the dog's head off, put it in a bag, and they found the dog. I know this is disturbing to hear. I don't even like I don't even like talking about it, right? But it's important to hear because you have people like this that could be in your neighborhood, right? You never know who does twisted shit. This guy went and got a dog from the animal shelter, a 4-year-old bulldog mix, cut off his head, put him in a bag, and they found the bag floating in like the groves, the mangroves in the state of Florida. He was given 1 year and 60 days in jail for this. And he was just back in front of the judge trying to get out. I'll finish in a second. Let me play you this news clip so you can see the news clip real quick. Check this out.
Domingo Rodriguez was back in court today as his attorneys asked the judge to grant bond while his sentence is being appealed. He was convicted earlier this year for decapitating a dog. The case garnered statewide support, leading to Dexter's Law, which begins July 1st. News Channel 8's Nicole Rogers joins us now live at the Pinellas County Jail where Rodriguez remains tonight. And Nicole, what happened in court today?
Ty, here's the breakdown. Rodriguez was already sentenced to 1 year and 2 months in jail. But now, as his team prepares his appeal, he's asking to be granted bond in the meantime.
All right, here we go.
This is Governor Ron DeSantis in South Florida, moments after signing Dexter's Law. It was named after a dog was found decapitated in Fort DeSoto Park last year, just days after being adopted. The man convicted of the crime, Domingo Rodriguez, was sentenced to 1 year and 60 days in jail earlier this year.
Justice for Dexter is now Dexter's Law.
Robin Mortimer has been fighting for justice for Dexter since she heard about his untimely death. Mortimer says she got to know the dog on an intimate level working at the Pinellas County Animal Shelter.
He didn't want to play. He didn't want anything but just a little cuddle time, a little bit of love.
No bond, no bond, no bond.
Friday, Mortimer and several others protested outside of the Pinellas County Courthouse. Inside, Rodriguez's attorney argued he should be given bond because he was convicted of misdemeanor charges and doesn't have a prior criminal record.
We have misdemeanor offenses. I understand the gravity and the attention that this case has garnered, but at the end of the day, these are not felony offenses.
Mortimer disagrees.
He's in jail. He was convicted by a jury. He was found guilty, and now he wants out.
Dexter's Law will let judges hand down a longer sentence to people who have been convicted of severe animal cruelty. It will also create a public statewide database for everyone who has been convicted of animal cruelty. That way, if anyone wants to adopt a dog or a cat, for example, they would already be in that database if they were previously convicted of animal cruelty. As for Rodriguez, he is due back in court on July 9th to find out whether or not he gets bail. For now, live in Pinellas County, Nicole Rogers, 8 on your side.
How twisted is that individual? If I was in prison with this guy, I often say I would never go back to prison. I did 17 years in prison. And when I was in prison, I used to go after the child molesters and the rapists, and I used to put them in the hospital all the time, sometimes worse. I did things I don't even want to talk about, on the computer, right? But they got their justification, their repercussions for what they did. This is a guy that I would go after in prison. I often say I would never go back. You put that guy in front of me right there, I'm probably going back to prison. You hurt a dog. Anyone that hurts a child or hurts a defenseless dog or a defenseless child, and my reason is we should legally be able to pound them into the ground. If I was in prison with that guy, he would be on the floor, curled up in a puddle of blood, barely breathing. I'm telling you the truth. I would be jumping on his head, kicking him in the face. I would be biting chunks out of that guy's face if I was in prison with him. Takes a 4-year-old dog and decapitates him, right? Now, Ron DeSantis, what he just did is he passed something called Dexter's Law, because the dog's name was Dexter, right? And Dexter's Law gives the judge more discretion to sentence these individuals for longer sentences. You see, because as they said in the news clip, it was only a misdemeanor, which is crazy because it's a violent act to cut off a dog's head. The animal cruelty is doesn't even justify it, those words. He violently cut off a dog's head. That's a violent act. That guy should have gotten 5 years in prison for that, not 1 year and 60 days. You know, oh man, if I could get my hands on Domingo Rodriguez, believe me, that guy would get payback. And I'm glad Ron DeSantis is changing the law. Ron DeSantis makes good. Did you see this other law that Ron DeSantis just passed off the subject? You know how, I'm sure some of you have heard about it. If you are driving in your car and a mob surrounds your car, because you know how they have all what they call protests, but it's really a riot, but they call it a protest. You know, there's a big difference between a peaceful protest and a riot. So anyway, if these people who are rioting surround your car, Ron DeSantis says you should just run them over, right? You're legally justified in running them over. And of course, that's common sense, because what happens if they pull you out of the car? Will you live? If you have a violent mob around your car, you could be in the car with your son or your daughter. You could be driving to yoga or Pilates. You could be driving to the supermarket. Your wife could be in the car, and you make a turn, and the next thing you know, a mob is throwing things through the windshield and shaking the car and rocking the car. You should be able to run them over. Of course you should, because it's self-preservation. You know, you have to stand your ground. That's why Florida is a good state. Ron DeSantis is a good governor, right? In liberal New York or California, if you hit one of them with your car, they're gonna lock you up for assault and attempted murder. How crazy is it? How crazy is that? That if in New York or California, if you do that, you'll be arrested for hitting someone with your car, someone who is jumping on the hood of your car and threatening you. You'll go to jail in New York or California or Chicago. You try that in Florida or Texas, see what happens to you. So I like this Ron DeSantis. Anyway, sorry for getting off the topic. He created Dexter's Law for the dog Dexter. I don't know if the law went into effect yet, but Domingo Rodriguez, the guy that killed his dog, that pissed me off. It upset me a great deal. We're supposed to love animals. We're supposed to. I have 6 dogs in my house. Someone hurts one of my dogs, I'm going back. That's my best friend. Those are my best friends. Those are some of my only friends. Unbelievable, man. I'm sorry for reporting such a disturbing story, but you guys should really hear it and know what's out there. You know what I mean? I'm wrapping this up for now. I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a good one.